Welcome into this week's edition of Beat the Bookie. I'm Mike Adzima. It's week 6 of the college football season, and there's some good games this weekend, and I'm here to help you guys win some money. First, let's take a look back at last week, how Sean Scott fared. I mean, Sean, awful week for you, buddy. Come on, Maryland, really? They got smoked by Penn State. Was it 59-0? What are you thinking? And also the Purdue pick, I don't understand it. You lost over $50. I'm here this week to help people win that money back, recover the losses. We'll go to the Big Ten for the big games of the week, starting off with Michigan versus Iowa. Listen, I grew up in Michigan, right down the road from the big house in Ann Arbor, but I got to take the Hawkeyes in this one. Sorry, Mom. Iowa plus 3.5. Throw a little $10 on that. You know, spread that $100 around, spread the wealth. Listen, Michigan 1-7 against the spread in their last 8, 1-2 against the spread at home this season. I think this game's decided by a field goal either way, if it goes to Iowa, if it goes to Michigan. I don't know, I can't tell you that, but if you take Iowa plus 3.5, you're golden. Sprinkle some money on that. Moving on to the Southeastern Conference for probably the biggest game of this weekend. Auburn going on the road to Gainesville, taking on the Gators in Florida. I like the under in this one, so throw $15 on that. Florida, the under is hit in 4 of their last 5 games for the Gators, and the under is hit in 5 of the last 7 in the series between Auburn and Florida. These are two pretty good defenses against some offenses that are so-so at times. So I like the under in this one, 48.5. Back to the Big Ten for the big night game. Michigan State, the Spartans going on the road to Ohio State in Columbus, and I like Ohio State at home in this one, minus 21. Throw $15 on that as well. Ohio State, 3rd in the country in points per game, over 52 points per game, and they're 4-1 against the spread this year. I think the Buckeyes in this one, I think they'll take care of business at home at night. For some of my personal picks of the weekend, we're going to start with UCF going on the road to Cincinnati. It's a Friday night game. And listen, I like Cincinnati in this one. Throw $10 on the money line, plus 160, because why not? I'm a UCF hater. So I wasn't a big fan of the national championship and undefeated stuff a couple years ago. I'm not a big fan of the Knights. Throw some money in Cincinnati on that one. UCF lost at Pitt. Not really sure how good Pitt is this season anyway. So I'd like Cincinnati to pull off another upset over the Knights. Moving on to the Big 12, Oklahoma taking on Kansas this weekend. I talked about the Buckeyes being in that top 3 in the country in points per game. Oklahoma's number 2, 55.5 points per game this year, and they've won 10 straight against Kansas. I think Jalen Hurts and the Sooners absolutely smoke Kansas this weekend. Sprinkle some money on them, $10 on minus 33 Oklahoma. And then finishing up in the Pac-12, a little Pac-12 Saturday night West Coast action. Cal going on the road to Eugene, taking on the Oregon Ducks. I like Cal plus 18.5 in this one on the road. Sprinkle $10 on that as well. Cal beat Washington on the road this year already. They're trying to recover from a tough home loss against Arizona State. I think this Cal team is pretty good. I think 18.5 is a little too generous to give the Ducks, so take Cal in this one. Moving on to my mortal lock of the week, going back to the Big Ten, Penn State versus Purdue. Penn State also in that top 5 in points per game in the country. The over in this one is set at $56. Throw $20, or 56 points, throw $20 on that game. Because honestly, Penn State, they put up 59 points against Maryland last week. They're going to absolutely smoke Purdue at home. I think that's a lock for Penn State to hit that over. Moving on to my parlay. It's a little bit of an odd parlay. Throw $10 on it though, and it's going to get you a nice payout of over $120. Air Force at Navy, the under at 45, 2 service academies. Those games always are grind them out, tough games. Take the under at 45. Minnesota taking on Illinois. I like them minus 14. SMU undefeated against the spread this year. That continues. At minus 13 against Tulsa. I like SMU in that one. And then we'll go back to that Michigan State-Ohio State game. Liking the first half over at 26.5. I think you can see that first half ending at something like 21-7, 24-7, with the Buckeyes coming out and running and gunning it early. I think they're going to put up a lot of points in this one. So take that first half over, 26.5, Ohio State, Michigan State. That's all the time we have this week on Beat the Bookie. I'm Mike Adzima. We'll see you next time. Hopefully, you guys are winning some money.